What up, everybody? Was this the worst NBA All Star game ever? Let's tune in. What up, everybody? It's your boy Ant. Back with my man Wasted Talent. Wasted, how have you been over there in Raider Nation killing things?
Man, I've been splendid, man. It's been one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life, man. Tapping in with my team and the Raider Nation, man. I appreciate that, bro. But I gotta come back to tap in with my homies, man, my partners in crime over here, man. So I'm with it. What's up with it, man? You watch that terrible ass. I mean,
Yeah.
they called it All-Star Weekend. I don't know what the fuck that was, bro.
Man, year to year, it's always so different. Like, I don't know what to expect. Some years are very good, other years, because this isn't the first year that's been a dud, but this year was absolutely terrible. Like,
But bro, you had a dude who's 7 foot tall win the 3-point contest. Let's start there. Like, what the fuck is going on here, bro?
Right, and I was upset. I bet on my man Patty Mills to win the 3-point competition. Being a Nets fan, he has top. He's top 3 in the league this year in a 3-point percentage. So, I got to I had to support him. But he had a good first round, man. He had 21, but then Trae Young hit the last money ball to kick him out, man. And Trae was the last shooter, but
they do too much, bro. That shit is whack. That shit is whack. They got all of these different rules. They you know what the NBA is falling victim to? The NBA is falling victim to trying to appease to video game people. They're trying to appease people who were not really into the sport. They're trying to grift their way to eyes on basketball. But all they got to do is just leave the fucking game alone. Leave the game alone, bro. You got all these young, talented players who are doing shit we never thought was possible, bro. Like, let's be for real here. Like, there's some iconic moments in the dunk contest, right? Like when Jordan took off from the foul line with the chains dangling and shit, just being poetic and dope. You know what I mean? Like, I had that picture on my wall as a kid. You know what I mean? And I'm a Knick fan. But it was just fucking dope, man. It's a lot of, like, Vince Carter. Let the game go forward. Just let the game go forward. The game will fix itself. And that's the problem with the new NBA. They keep trying to not retroactively, they try to on the fly supposedly fix the game. They're doing too much. Just let the game go forward. They've always done that. You know what I mean?
What did you think of the skills competition? Because the skills competition when I was younger was, you usually had the best point guards in the league, Steve Nash, all those guys. They were doing, where they got to go through the cones or whatever, or the fake defenders. They got to do the pass, take the layup, same thing, come down. But this year they did a little bit different. They did like the team-oriented thing. They had Team Giannis, Team Cavaliers, and the rookies. Now, honestly, I thought the skills competition was pretty cool as far as the team aspects went. But like you said, I feel like a lot of this stuff is just like too much spectacle, because I do think you have to keep it change. You can make little tweaks and everything, but at the end of the day, it's like you want to make sure everything is solid. And I feel like a lot
not
of
at all.
Yeah, a lot of the times it's like way too much. They're just trying to do way too much. And then like the in between, the spectacle, the commercials, the halftime show, like everything was just way too long. There's no good flow to it. You didn't know what was coming next. And then in that skills competition, like there was a tiebreaker, and all it was like a 3-point shot. It was like Giannis's brother against what's his name from the Cavs, Darius Garland, and then he just hit the 3. I'm like, bro, that's how you're gonna separate the tiebreaker? Like, do the drill again, and whoever gets a better time, that's the tiebreaker.
Bro, the shit is whack. Like, let's just tie it up in a neat little bow. The shit is trash. The NBA needs to stop with this shit. They need to stop fucking with the dunk contest. Like, the fact that Greg Anthony's son was even in that shit trying to dunk with the Timbs on with that, which that was garbage. Like, bro, first of all, you ain't even from New York. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, cut that shit out, bro. You grew up down south. You know what I mean? Your father played in New York. He ain't from New York. Like, stop it. Second of all, you know what I mean? Like, the whole dunk contest, them going and trying shit. They're doing dunks that they've never ever tried before. You can clearly see that. You know what I mean? It's just like the NBA is gonna kill the goose that laid the golden egg. And guess what? They got some young stars that are coming up in this league that are going to get smothered by the whackness of the way the league is being run. They're not even marketing the right player. Like I'm gonna give you an example. The NBA has taken Luka Doncic and they're trying to put the league on his shoulders, and he ain't even like that. He's not the guy that they need to put the league on, yo. They need to start looking at Ja Morant. They need to get Ja Morant the fuck out of Memphis. And if they were smart, they would have fixed the goddamn draft when the Knicks had the number 3 pick and gave the Knicks the number 2 pick so that Ja Morant could have been on the damn Knicks. And sent RJ Barrett bum ass down to Memphis, man. I mean, that's the Knicks fan. But I get RJ Barrett bum ass fuck out of here.
I mean, as far as Luka goes, the Luka conversation, like, I think he's going to have to get to a point. For me, sometimes I feel like he's just not, like, in it enough from a competitive standpoint. It's like, you know, some days I feel like he just takes games off. Like, Ja Morant never takes a game off. He never takes a playoff. He has that Westbrook mentality almost where he's like, you know, playing all 48 minutes as fast as he can. Now, Luka, I feel like sometimes he's in it, he's out, he's kind of just chilling. He's, you know, loving America. I don't know. I'm not the Dallas Mavericks practices. That's just what I see from the games. But I think you're right as far as a marketing standpoint should go. The face of the league should be Ja Morant or the next face of the league because he's absolutely a stud. His 2 dunks that he had in the All-Star game were better than any of the dunks in the dunk contest.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you can see, look, you can see how committed someone is to their craft in the NBA a little bit more so than any other sport because you don't have a lot of equipment on. You just got a jersey on and shorts. So you can see their physique. You can see how committed Luka Doncic is to basketball based off of the way his physique looks. It has not changed. It's actually gotten worse. He's gotten bigger. He doesn't have any muscle tone, and it don't look like he's ever lifted a weight in his life. Ja Morant is getting jacked. He's muscular, and it's not like I'm sitting up there checking the dude out or nothing like that, but you can tell the guys who put the work in. It's a reason why LeBron looks like a tank because he put the work in. That $2 million he spent on his body, you could see that shit in real time. You could see a guy that's damn near 40 years old still able to dominate at times. There's never been a guy at that age that can do some of the things he's been able to still do physically. You know, not just from a dominated game, because Kareem dominated at an older age, and so did Michael. But the difference is from a physicality standpoint, LeBron is still able to assert himself, not as much as he used to be, but he still can, right? Luka Doncic, you can see it's not working out. You can see it, bro. You can see he's not committed. You can see he's loving America, like you said. He's up playing video games and eating double burgers and shit. So they can't put the league on his shoulders, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's down there in Texas, so, you know, he's probably eating good down there. They got tons of good food in Texas, man. But yeah, just to pivot to back to the dunk contest, like the NBA needs to find a way to get the stars back into the dunk contest. Like in the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s, the best players in the game were in the dunk contest. Nowadays, it's like you're getting all these rookies, these young guys, which is fine, but like, look at example this past weekend, man. The first round was, I mean, the whole thing was horrible, but the first round was horrible. Cole Anthony, that's cool. You want to pay tribute to your father, wear the Timbs. I thought it was actually cool. But when you take 5 minutes to put on your Timbs, bro.
Well, you take fucking 15 to complete the dunk. That's what makes it worse. Come on, man. Bro, look, the thing with the 80s, I think a lot has made it that, right? You had a lot of dunk contests with unknowns, but the thing was they got lucky. They caught lightning in the bottle. 2 guys who became superstars were in a dunk contest and put on a dunk contest for the ages, and they became the best players in the league, Jordan and Dominique Wilkins. That's really what happened, right? Because, you know, even in those dunk contests, you look at the other guys that are in those dunk contests, Ron Harper's and Jerome Kersey's and guys like that, they were not superstars. They just got lucky that Michael Jordan became who he became. And I think a part of what Michael Jordan became, not just the sneakers and the commercials and stuff, he got all of that because of the Air Jordan moniker from his in-game dunks and actually the shit that he put on in the dunk contest, right? And from a marketing aspect and the people that he had in his ear, like David Falk, they told him that that was a good vehicle for him to get out there. Nowadays, a lot of these guys don't do the dunk contest because there's no incentive for them to do it because they already come to the NBA with endorsements. They already come with shoe deals before they're even good. Before we know if they're even good, they got a shoe deal. See, the problem is that the capitalism and how big the NBA has become, they don't make these guys earn it. They don't make these guys earn it. You got guys with signature shoe deals with Nike, and they're fucking bums. You had guys like Mohamed Bamba. Mo Bamba had a fucking commercial. How the fuck? How does Mohamed Bamba deserve a fucking commercial in the NBA? Is he even starting for the Magic right now? Where the fuck is Mohamed Bamba at? Where's he been?
I know, man. He had the song and everything.
He had a song and all this bullshit. Like, what the fuck is this, bro?
But that's the thing, man. Like sports in general nowadays is just like everything is based on potential. Like even in the NFL, Kirk Cousins got that huge Mondo contract with the Vikings when he had, never even proven himself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything nowadays is almost like an investment and a gamble. You're trying to buy that real estate in Manhattan before Manhattan was Manhattan. They're trying to invest in these young guys before they blow up. But
everybody trying to land on Plymouth Rock.
Yeah, exactly. Your point is exactly right though, because it's like, all right, well, we already gave Ja Morant, the Nike deal for whatever amount of money. Now he has no incentive to go in the dunk contest and do so. Like, at what point? Like, what do you have to do? Put like a Bugatti as the prize for people to get, but in the dunk contest, is that even an incentive? Like, what can we actually do to fix this problem? Does it have to be a $20 million prize? Does it have to be something that crazy?
These motherfuckers need to get that dog back in them, and Ja Morant got that dog in him. He definitely got that dog in him. You know what I'm saying? But the thing with Ja Morant that's a little different is that Ja Morant, is a smaller guy. You know what I mean? He can get up though. I really don't. I thought Ja Morant was going to do the dunk contest. And I really think that had he done a dunk contest, it would have made him more visible to the novice NBA fan. See, that's the thing when you're not in a big market, even though, you got social media. That's another thing with social media. You don't really need all of this shit to get out there. All you got to do is be popping and have people hear your name and shit like that. You got all these highlight shows. So it's not that your greatness can't be really hidden. I'm going to give you an example. When I was coming up, a player like Mitch Richmond. When Mitch Richmond was, in Golden State, and then when he had got traded to Sacramento, you didn't really see Mitch Richmond a lot. You just heard how great Mitch Richmond was. You would see him make the All-Star team. You're like, why is this guy making an All-Star team? I don't never see him. Yeah. Back before like Pat Riley got to the Heat, you never used to see Miami Heat games. So Glenn Rice and guys like that, I remember Glenn Rice from being in Michigan and stuff like that and winning a national title. But Glenn Rice, you didn't see Glenn Rice on TV a lot. You didn't.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of great players who would just get hidden. Nowadays, with these highlight shows inside the NBA, it's just these guys, it's easier for them, man. For Ja Morant, I'm surprised though, because I know out of all these young players, Ja Morant has that dog in him. He got that old school 90s dog in him, and I really would love to see him go and be the guy to bring the dunk contest back.
Yeah, man. I mean, the years where we saw Aaron Gordon and LaVine has become a star in the league. There's no doubt about that. So it's awesome to see that. But those dunk contests were amazing. The creativity.
I think that's the best one. As far as from a competition standpoint, that's the best one.
By far, that's easily the best one. Vince, obviously, he has his iconic, what was that, 2000? Like, he made the slam dunk contest. That's, like, untouchable, That's just one of the amazing.
From a singular performance, he has the best single performance in the dunk contest. But as a duel, you had the Jordan and the Dominique one. But the problem with the Jordan and Dominique one, it was marred by the fans. Because when they went head-to-head and Jordan won, Jordan did the foul line dunk. He did that. That's his second year in a row doing that dunk, right? Yeah. Dominique Wilkins actually beat him, man. But what happened was the way he used to win the dunk contest was from the fan noise. And they would hold up 10s. Guess what the dunk contest was in that year? It was in Chicago Stadium, the old Chicago Stadium. So, of course, Jordan was going to win that dunk contest. And Dominique really won that to me. But
So I 100% agree, right? The 2016, the dunk contest between them two, and Aaron Gordon got robbed the year after as well when D Wade screwed him. You know what I'm saying? He should be at least a one-time champion. But there was creativity. Obviously, Zach LaVine's vertical ability is crazy. Like, there's not many guys who could do a windmill from the foul line. But the dunks the other night, like the dunk that Jalen Green did, the 360 between the legs, that is an extremely difficult dunk. But he made it look so easy. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt on that. It's like, these guys have to be more creative, and a lot of these dunks have become easier and easier. Like, what did Dominique do? A two-handed windmill? If somebody did that in today's dunk contest, it would get a 6.
Yeah.
And now back then that was a 50. But there are plenty of stuff that we haven't seen before. And there's a certain type of flair that these guys can put on the dunks that will put them over the top. Like if Ja Morant just threw the ball up, did a 360 and dunked it as hard as he could, he would probably get like a 45 to a 50 just off of his flair and the power. Like a lot of those dunks that Obi Toppin did, the one where he put it behind his back and jumped over somebody, when he put it behind his back and jumped over somebody and dunked it, that was an extremely difficult dunk, but he didn't flush it. You know, it was kind of like an ugly finish. Yeah. So that's why it didn't look impressive. The one where he hit it off the backboard and dunked it, same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't yeah. So if Ja did something as simple as lobbed it to himself and like did a crazy 180 windmill, he would get a high score just off of his flair. So I think there are ways and outlets where these guys can come up with new dunks. Like I think somebody could put the ball between their legs twice. I think somebody could do that.
Bro, I saw somebody do that shit on YouTube. Some of these young guys that are in the gym fucking around at LA Fitness, they put up these videos, these really good amateur dunkers. These guys are doing shit that I didn't even think was possible, bro. Seriously.
Yeah, there's this guy out in California. He's like there's a professional dunking league too, where they travel all over the world and they'll do like their own dunk contest. There's this guy, his name is I think Chris Staples or something like that, Chris Stapleton or something. And he's all over Instagram. He does his dunk called the Christ Air, where he jumps in the air. He looks like he's on a cross, and then he dunks it backwards. The one that's White House.
I saw that. Yeah. He spreads his legs all the way out and shit.
Yeah. So there's dunks out there. You know, I think if these guys were just willing to, you know, be a little bit more creative or reach out to some of these guys, they'll be able to do that. But like, you know, what's his name from And1 did a 720 dunk in game. Somebody in the league could do a 720 dunk. You know, there's stuff we haven't seen before that can put these guys over the top. I just think there's a lack of incentive for these people to do so. Like there's got to be some type of incentive to bring back the best players in a dunk contest.
But see, like I was saying before, it's never really been the best players. It's been the best young players. It's never been.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like even when Mike was doing it, Mike was only in the league. This is like 1987 when this was. Mike had been in the league like 2 years. He was a young pup. Dominique was a young pup at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like Mike was doing the dunk contest in 91.
Yeah, I mean Vince was still young too, even when he had his iconic thing.
Yeah, Vince was young, man.
But I mean, why can't we get some of these young, amazing guys? I mean, I guess the guys yesterday were young, but like I would rather see somebody like Ja Morant in the dunk contest.
Yeah, but if you look at some of the guys that are the best players in the league who are young players, they are not those kind of above the rim kind of talents. You look at Luka, like a lot of these guys are point guards and shit like that. You know what I mean? Colin Sexton's a point guard. The kid out in Sacramento is a point guard. He's not really a dunker. Like if you really look at it, these guys are not. We have to wait till the next guys come around. Like Jalen Green is a good young player, but he's Toscano is a good young player. Nobody's gonna mistake them to be superstars. So basically what we're praying for is that Ja Morant will come and save the dunk contest, kind of like Vince Carter had to.
Yeah.
Vince Carter had to save the dunk contest. You know what I mean? Because you had those years where J.R. Rider won it. You had the Brent Berry year. That was a down year. You had the year when Kobe won it, where everybody made a big deal of it. But to be honest with you, I didn't think like Kobe did the dunk contest and he did fucking J.R. Rider's dunk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And J.R. Rider did it better than he did. So it's like, no disrespect to Kobe. You know what I'm saying? But that was a needed thing. He was the young superstar coming up. He did it.
Yo, but what was the year with Jason Richardson when he won it?
Remember J.R.? That was like 2003, 2004. That was nice when J.R. won it, yeah.
That was an amazing dunk contest, man. Like,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember he threw a little lob from the corner, put it underneath his legs, finished with 2. Like, that was crazy,
with
man.
Jay Rich, his career, I thought Jay Rich was going to project to be a superstar. Seriously, he won a national title at Michigan State. He came into the league. He was balling with Golden State. I don't know what really happened with J.R., but his career just tanked. He was looking to be one of them guys, you know. But what we got now in the league is, man, we have to like get the competitive balance back in the league because it's not just the dunk contest that's a problem. This is the reason why everybody's saying it's the worst All-Star weekend ever is because everything was equally as terrible. We've had years where the dunk contest has been good and that three-point contest was lackluster and the All-Star game was lackluster. We've had years where the All-Star game was competitive and great, right? Like I remember that year where it was Jordan's last year. and
Yeah, that
Kobe
was
hit them
dope.
shots. That was a great competitive. Stephon Marbury was balling. And remember that year with AI and Stephon Marbury were going crazy and stuff. Did Stephon Marbury win the MVP or AI? One of them won.
I think AI won it.
AI won it, and they closed when AI won the MVP. That was a great All-Star game, right? Then you had the one with Kobe and Shaq went against each other for the first time. That was a great one. Shaq was in Miami and Kobe was in LA. The problem with the All-Star game is that this is the league that LeBron has made. And look, I wouldn't be honest if I didn't, because LeBron, my guy, I fuck with Bron. This is the league that LeBron has made. That was why Kobe Bryant was needed even at the end of his career, because he kept that competitiveness into basketball. That shit needs to come back.
Yeah, man.
And I see it.
As much as is like bro, it's so hard because it's like I can understand the business side of things, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, I do miss those dog fights. Everybody's too cool now. Everybody's too business savvy. Like, this is the business. We got to take care of our bodies. It's like, bro, why can't you go hard in the All-Star game? The first quarter, I literally could have scored 50 points. Nobody was doing anything, man. It was just like, I get it because nothing, you don't want to get. I get it. You don't want to get hurt. You want to protect your career. You're probably, your body's probably aching. You want to rest. But it's like, bro, those All-Star games where they're going ham, those are some of the best games out there. The fourth quarter is dope because it's competitive.
People pay their hard-earned money for this shit. This shit is expensive, bro. You ever been to an All-Star game, bro? You ever try to go? When they had the one in Atlanta, the tickets are astronomical to sit in the fucking screechers. People are paying to see the best players on the planet compete against each other. Nobody says you got to be fucking Charles Oakley, bro. You don't got to be Rick Mahorn. You ain't got to be Bill Laimbeer. You don't got to hit anybody with a fucking elbow. But for God's sakes, make it look believable. It doesn't even look like a pickup game. They're just walking up and down the court, letting people shoot. It's bullshit and it's corny. And this is the league that Bron has made. Everybody's friends and everybody's a brand. Focus on being great first before you become a fucking brand. I'm tired of everybody being a brand now.
See, I got to push back a little bit on that because you have to take into perspective the contracts as well in the NBA. Back then, like, people were signing 7-year deals, 6-year deals, 8-year deals. Now people are signing 3 to 4 year deals, and usually the last year is a player option or a team option. So, yes, you're correct, because once LeBron went to Miami, it was like, oh, shit, the player empowerment movement, everything is cool. Like, you can try to team up with guys. It's all buddy-buddy. But the same thing with the contracts. If a guy's signing a 3-year contract and he knows another player in the league has a 3-year contract, it's like, yo, we could go to this market, da-da-da. So I think you have to take that into perspective as well. You have to take in the league consideration and the TV money as well. It wasn't just LeBron. It was... That 100% has something to do with it. It is too buddy-buddy. Everybody's cool, hanging out in the off season, drinking their wine, smoking their cigars together. But at the same time, the league changed as well as far as the TV deal went and the contracts.
See, look, from a business aspect, I understand what you mean, but that's not what I mean. What I mean by this is the league LeBron created is the fact that, and the player empowerment thing, I'm not just going to put that on him, right?
You talking about the hugs, and the dap after
I'm
every
talking about
game?
the competitiveness, and these guys, it's a league of his little bros. Al Harrington said that, and that shit is true. It's a league of his little bros. He been in the league so long. He's been so good so long. Yo, he came in the league in 2003, bro. Jalen Green was born in 2003.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Think about that. He's playing against this guy and blocking that guy's shot. He was born the year he came in. So what I mean by that is that, listen, I know in the 80s, too much is made of the players not being friends. These dudes were friends, bro. These guys were friends. Jordan was friends with Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley and Jordan were friends. Charles Oakley and Jordan were friends. Guys were friends. But the thing about it is that, some of these guys didn't like each other and it was fucking okay.
Yeah.
And some of these guys were competitive with each other. These guys are not competitive with each other, bro, because of the fact of this whole thing where they just going ahead and Bumble Blow. What's up, bro? Thank you for pulling up on my show over here too, man. But Bron had a Nike camp and had all the best high school players. And I saw that video, bro. So that video was like D'Angelo Russell and all of these dudes who were young. They went to his camp.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? These dudes are like his little boy. Yo, Bugsy Raider, what's the deal, man? Thank you for pulling up over here with me.
Nah, bro, I get it 100%. And like people say it too. Like I remember when Lonzo was first in the league, he was like, "Yeah, like LeBron's my favorite player. Like I grew up watching him." You know, so I 100% get it. I'm just saying from the business
He's not
standpoint.
swatting them down, though, and that's the problem. See,
Yeah, he's
everybody came
embracing
into the
them.
league. He embraces them.
He's
Michael
embracing them
Jordan,
instead of like, MJ would be like, "Get out of here, little bitch ass." You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
He
Like
wasn't,
Jordan,
but
you know
I
what?
mean, but you like you said, so MJ was cool with everybody, but he really wasn't like him and Kobe were so similar where they only had a few friends. They were really, really private. It was hard to get access to them, and that's how it was. LeBron is more of a social person because he's
He's
trying to
like, hey,
better
come
his
on, everybody.
community.
You know what Kobe had to do to get Mike to help him, bro? Like Kobe said, yo, he
Yeah,
just kept trying. And Mike, he said, Mike, the first time Mike really helped him was in that All-Star game. He said, because he kept going at Mike. He showed Mike he was the fucking man, bro. Seriously. He
yeah,
showed Mike he was the man. It's like, yo, with LeBron, he's letting these guys who are marginal ass players come up under him and he giving them love. Mike wasn't going to give you love. Like even with AI, like
now you have
AI
to
was
earn
like,
it.
yo, he said to AI, he said the first thing, he was like, what's the first thing, Mike? He said, yo, Michael Jordan was my guy. He was my idol, you know. And they were like, what's the thing, first thing Mike ever said to you? He was like, Mike said to me, he said, what's up, little bitch? Since that's the first thing he ever said to AI.
Nah,
AI said,
the funniest shit is when he called Muggsy or whoever a midget, bro. That shit's
Bugsy
foul.
Bogues, he called him a midget, yeah. You fucking midget, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan wasn't. You don't see guys that weren't great players that aren't his contemporaries like Oak, because Oak was
Yeah,
his teammate. Oak fucking stuck up for him. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike was competitive when he came in the league, but you got them older dudes who would have whooped Mike ass. You know what I mean? You know them guys on the Bulls and stuff like that. Oak held them down. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael Jordan said, one they were tight after. You know how they make the rookies pay for dinner?
yeah,
Since Mike was the number one pick, he had the money. They tried to make Mike pay for dinner. And Mike said, no, get the fuck out of here. And they were going to whoop his ass. And Oak took his back. And he
yeah.
said they were always tight. He said, me and Mike always been tight since then. You know what I mean? But the thing is that LeBron James takes and embraces guys who shouldn't even be in his space.
Correct.
Like
I will.
you're a marginal player, man. Get the fuck out of here. I'm LeBron James, man. He should be saying, yo, you little. He should make them walk over a drawbridge to get access to his brain instead of being cool with every fucking body.
Yeah, I think it's just the type of person he is. He's trying to, be a good leader, I guess. 100% different leadership style from Jordan. Like you said, Jordan made you earn his respect. You had to earn everything. And that's if he even gave you the chance to earn it. Where LeBron is like kind of just like a good dude, like, hey, this is how you do X, Y, and Z. Like two completely different things. But with that being said, it does roll over into the competitiveness. My thing is, too, just to get away from LeBron a little bit, these guys have been playing AAU ball together since they're like 13 years old, especially if they're from these bigger cities where they were the best players. Some of these guys have been cool since they're
Friends, they
13,
was
14
little.
years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Imagine me and you were best friends growing up and then we get to the league. Are we going to hate each other?
No.
No. But you know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of that going on too. And a lot of the people, the main goal is just to get to the money with these deals going on now. You hear all the old time, you hear Shaq say it, you hear Ernie say it, you hear Charles say it on TNT. They're like, man, we didn't get these deals.
Yeah.
So
And
I
you
think
know
that
why?
I think that has a huge part of the competitiveness to do with it as well. These bags are being handed out. You could be a mid-level player now getting $30-40 million a year.
You know
Where
what the
back in
problem in
that
sports
NBA,
is?
you were only making $4 to $5 million a year.
The problem in sports today is something Deion Sanders, and I didn't mean to over talk. I had to just keep this shit in my head. I ain't wanted to go.
You good?
Deion Sanders said one thing that was so insightful. I love Prime, man. Prime said the problem with today's sports is that everyone likes it. You go on Instagram, you see a picture, you just like it. Everybody want to go and play sport. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's cool. He goes, when I ask young players why they play football, like, oh, it's cool. I like it. I can get the money. He goes, but they don't love it. They don't love this shit, bro. And it shows. It shows in a product. They don't love it. They love what comes with it. They love the bag, but they don't love the grind. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, LeBron James too. They work at this shit. Kevin Durant, because they love it.
Yeah, KD loved the game. KD
loves
loves
it.
the game.
He love it. I got to give it to KD. He love it. The only thing he didn't love was the beautiful struggle of trying to win when you already got motherfuckers on your team that, you know, are decent. I mean, I guess now we're seeing that it's hard to win with Russell Westbrook. Even LeBron can't win with Russell Westbrook, but, you know, I don't know.
I mean, we definitely got to give. It's so tough, bro. Because like at the end, like, bro, the Warriors move, I'll still say is weak. I'll never shy
Weakest
away
move
from
ever
that.
in history, bro. I don't care what nobody says.
It's super weak, but it's like, bro, if I'm a 25-year-old and I could live in San Francisco or Oklahoma City, I'm living in San Francisco. But I wouldn't be able to go to a team that I just lost to. There's no way I would be able to do that.
Bro, and not for
No
nothing,
way.
Kevin Durant, one of the reasons why they moved to Oklahoma City, what is Oklahoma City closest to? The most major market they closest to?
Texas.
And where did he play ball
He
at?
played ball at Texas.
Yes, and he had a huge fan base just from his college years. So there was a piece of that too. You know what I mean? I almost felt like
it just sucks with him, bro, because if he doesn't win a chip with the Nets, I feel like people are just going to slander him, and he's really one of the best players ever. Like,
offensively.
I truly believe. Yeah. I mean, he's a good defensive player as well, but he's not known for his defense. Like, offensively, he's one of the best to ever put the ball in the basket.
I don't have Kevin Durant in my top 10 players of all time. I personally don't. I'm not a huge Kevin Durant guy. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I think that offensively, because of his size and his measurables, he's a matchup. But I think that you dropping Kevin Durant in the 90s where they were more physical, how good would Kevin Durant be in the 90s when they were more physical? Him being as weak as he is and him never developing any muscle or any post moves. I don't know. There's some players that transcend eras.
100%. We could argue. I mean, listen, bro, we've had this conversation before. You could argue eras and all that and stuff. I'm just saying, like, his legacy, if he doesn't win one with the Nets, people are just going to be like, oh, he only won because of the Warriors.
And I think that's fair.
I think it is fair as well. But I think people are just going to, like, take that away from him from his greatness. Like how people don't appreciate Charles Barkley when he was one of the best players in the league because he never won a ring. People understand how great he was, but they don't understand he's one of the best to ever do it.
I think Charles Barkley is deserved what happened to Charles Barkley in his career, because Charles Barkley dogged out the end of his career. Charles Barkley ate himself out of his greatness. He ate himself out of his greatness. Greatness doesn't accept mediocrity. So if you were being great the whole time and not winning, you will always be looked at that. Like Wilt Chamberlain, he won. He didn't win as much as he should have because he had to contend with the Celtics and them having fucking a team full of all-stars and shit like that. But Wilt Chamberlain was great from the minute he walked in the league until he left. The fact that Shaquille O'Neal wasn't willing to sit on a bench for the Celtics and collect the millions of dollars when he couldn't play anymore and he believed in his heart he couldn't do it anymore, greatness walked away. Charles Barkley tries to blame this era of players for going and try to dick ride to get a ring. And guess what? He did the same thing in Phoenix. And he left and went to Houston and did the same fucking thing. But he makes excuses. Oh, well, we were past our prime. You didn't feel that way when you went there. You didn't feel that way when you went there. You was like, well, shit, Scotty here, the Dream here, Drexler here. Maybe they got rid of Drexler, whatever. Oh, we getting a ring. That's how he felt.
Yeah.
Robert Horry here. Yo, I can still play. No, you can't because you didn't take care of yourself. No, you can't because you were mediocre in the offseason. No, you can't because you put weight on and you weren't great like Michael Jordan and kept that fucking weight off you. So you got what you got. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think Charles Barkley deserves all the slander he get, especially because he's such an opinionated prick about it.
I think people just don't like, especially, young guys my age, and the next generation isn't going to give him the respect that I think he deserves. I think he's, one of the best to ever do it. Not in that, MJ category, but just as far as like people to put the ball in the basket, he's one of the best to ever do it, man. Especially at his size and the position he played was absolutely ridiculous.
But people used to say when I was coming up that he was the greatest power forward of all time. He's not. And there was a whole generation of guys who have put his career to shame, from the Tim Duncans of the world to the Kevin Garnetts of the world to the Dirk Nowitzkis of the world.
Yeah.
They put his career to shame. He's irrelevant now. And the thing is that greatness travels, bro. Greatness travels. His greatness didn't travel the eras. So he was a great player for his era, but nobody's ever going to confuse Charles Barkley for being one of the 10 best players.
You don't think he's... Nah, he's not. I don't have him top 10 Adam.
20, 30.
No, I still think he's one of the. I think you could argue top 30. You can put an
There's
argument in
an
there.
argument there, but 20.
I mean, you could always make an argument about whoever.
He
you know
talks.
what I'm saying?
Barkley, and listen. Emmanuel Presley. I will respectfully disagree with you that Barkley is a better player than Kevin Garnett. He might be a better offensive player than Kevin Garnett. He is not a better defensive player. He's not a better passer. He's not a better, rebound. Like Kevin Garnett, 6'11". So that's, Barkley probably was a better rebounder.
Yeah, I mean, Garnett. People appreciate Garnett, man, but I feel like he's in that category too, where people really don't appreciate how good he was. Because he was stuck up in Minnesota and he was loyal to that organization, and they were really never that good, man. Like, and like if he got drafted to anywhere else in the league, I think he would have had a totally different career.
Yeah, bro. Like my man said, Garnett was a loser. He says Garnett was a loser.
Yo, Garnett. Yeah, that's crazy. My bad. No. That's crazy. That franchise was really never good, When he was on the Celtics, even in the Celtics, like he was starting to, trend down a little bit in his career, especially with the knee injuries. He was starting to get hurt a little bit. Those Celtics years weren't even his really best years. His best years were probably what would you say, 05 to 08?
Yeah, when he was in the conference finals with Minnesota.
Yeah.
The year like Malik Sealy and all of them when they were over there with him. Look, man, let me tell you something. Kevin Garnett, and this is something Barkley could never say. Kevin Garnett had his team in the conference finals, man, in Minnesota. Charles Barkley couldn't do that with the 76ers. Charles Barkley had to leave and go to a team with 2 other All-Stars on it to get to the conference finals. He had to run and get the fuck out of the East because he didn't want to take the challenge of going through Michael Jordan to get to the finals. Let's call it what it is. So when Charles Barkley attacks LeBron and all of them, he's just jealous because his career could never be put next to any of these guys. And now that Shaquille O'Neal is on the panel, he can't be King Big Shit. When Magic Johnson come up there, you can't be King Big Shit. You gotta shut the fuck up. Even with Kenny Smith, that's something. He's like, oh, you ain't win no ring. No, Kenny Smith has shit to do with that. You don't know what that feel like, bro. Straight up.
Oh, man.
Straight up. So, Charles Barkley is, I loved Barkley when I was a kid. I think Charles Barkley, as time has gone on, his legacy has not traveled because he was not great. Greatness will always sustain. Bill Russell will always be looked at as great. Yep. Jerry West will always be looked at as great. Wilt Chamberlain will always be looked at as great. Oscar Robertson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so on and so forth. Charles Barkley is looked at as, for his era, he was great. But nobody ever puts Barkley in the conversation, and is rightfully so, because he cheated himself.
Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Everybody, appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have not already, please subscribe, please like, do all that good stuff. Helps us out. Wasted, what do we got to do next year to make the All-Star game better?
3 things. 1, I think that the purse from the All-Star game should go to the winning team. I think none of them should get paid. Whoever loses doesn't get paid. 2, I think they need to go back to the original format of the 3-point contest and stop with all of this shit turning it into a video game with this glowing balls where they get 3 fucking shots bullshit. Just the racks, the money ball, right? And then 2, with the dunk contest, they need to change the rules. They need to have a limit of how many times they can attempt to dunk and make that limit a lot lower. They need to curate who's going to do it. And I think that Adam Silver and the league need to stress upon the importance of what it is to be great at this shit. You know what I'm saying? They need to stress the importance of that. They need to be, listen, if you're going to do this, I want you to make sure you're preparing for this. Because a lot of these young guys that are doing it, they're not getting a hold. They're not like really star players. But next year, I would love to see like the kid from the Celtics. That kid is athletic. You know what I mean?
Jaylen Brown?
Either him or the other one. The other boy named, you know what I'm talking about. The one that was close with Kobe. Jaylen Brown is the young.
Oh, Tatum?
Tatum, yeah.
I don't think Tatum would be a good dunk contest. I think Brown would be.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown. I'm just saying somebody that's athletic.
Yeah.
They're in a big market. They need to curate who's going to be in this contest, bro. It can't be where they're going around just asking motherfuckers. They need to go to Ja Morant like how David Stern used to do and take the bull by the horns and be like, hey, Ja, listen, you want to be a superstar? You want to be looked at like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant? This is what you need to do. That's what needs to happen. They need to take control of it. They need to stop with all the gimmicks. Just stop it. Stop with the gimmicks. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the pomp and circumstance. Having DJ Khaled come out and all that fucking nonsense. Focus on making the product better. And if they do that, it'll be better.
The product needs to be 100% better, man. They got to cut out all this spectacle. At least trim it down a bit, man. It's just way too much going on. I feel like I was at a circus, not a basketball event. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it was. It was a basketball circus. It was a basketball. It was Circus Soleil of sports. That's what it was. Terrible.
All right, NBA. If you're listening, you got to make some changes. Everybody, once again, thank you for tuning in. We're signing off. See you next time.